Welcome back to the channel. My name is Benjamin Watts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's devotional is going to be out of Psalm 14. And Psalm 14 is titled, "The Fool Who Says There Is No God." But I am titling today's devotional, "Living in Corruption." Well, the title could seem a little harsh, and obviously I'm sure you put it together, but I'm talking about just the world in which we live in. We live in a time where there's just crazy things happening. There's things that are becoming normal that we would never thought would be normal. There's way more hate than love. Obviously, that's a big part of the issue in every opinion or just discrepancy that we have. And so Psalm 14 talks about living in this corruption of being a Christian within a society where things are changing, where things don't seem to be going the right way. And I want to first say that with that, as Christians, and I'll get into this a little bit more, but as Christians, we don't need to make the issue worse. Just like I said a minute ago, and I've said in my other devotionals, man, we are called to love. We're not called to hate. So though someone has an opinion that is far different from you, it does not mean that they are not loved by God. And so respond in love, or maybe if you just don't know how to respond, don't respond at all. And so that's just a little side note. I just want to kind of give my heart into that. But Psalm 14 reads, the fool says in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They do abominable deeds. There is none who does good. The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of man to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside. Together they have become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one. Have they no knowledge, all the evildoers, who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call upon the Lord? There they are in great terror, for God is with the generation of righteous, who shame the plans of the poor, but the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord restores the four tones of his people, let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. My first point of two in this devotional of just kind of living in this time where it seems hard, where every day it seems like there's something happening where it's harder to live out your faith, and that can be for any religion, is that it just gets harder to do the things that we believe in. Opinions become philosophies and fallacies and just what our world lives by because one person has a bigger audience, and so their opinion takes over everyone else's. There's all of these things happening. And so what I want to encourage you with is here in verse 7, it says, "Oh, that salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When the Lord restores the four tones of his people, let Jacob rejoice." And so we see this moment where David is writing, I know that you will see salvation within those people. I know that it will happen, and Jacob will rejoice. He's like proclaiming this. And so for me, the encouragement is what worked then will work now. What we read here within Psalm over and over and over, and I will never stop saying it, but we see these problems and then we see these solutions. And I want to encourage you that what worked here, what worked in this time, what worked in the book of Psalms, what worked through the holy book, the Bible, will continue to work over and over within our society. The corruption that was there, the things that were happening. We did a devotional on Jesus healing the man and telling him to pick up his mat and walk. All of those things that happened then will happen now. So let that be an encouragement. And second, this is more of an action point. Kind of what I want you to take away is, if you're someone who truly believes that we live in a corrupt world, that there's things happening that you don't believe in or just whatever it may be, well, how about we stop talking about it and we go? And I almost feel a little hypocritical because I'm sitting here talking about it. But for me, I'm in ministry. I firmly believe that I'm in my calling. I'm serving my church. I'm serving my students. We're building a community of worship. We're going and doing the things that I feel God has laid on my heart to be the vision for our student ministry. And so I feel like I am going. Now, there's times where I sit on my couch and I do things that, and I think things and I go, man, I could be doing this. One of them being YouTube for me. I kept sitting around saying, what if I did it? And then I just started. I stopped talking about it and I went and did it. I only have so much life to live. Sounds kind of Christianese or cliche, but you really do only have one life to live. So are you going to talk about all the things that you want to do, or are you going to go do them? Several weeks ago, I'll close with this. Several weeks ago, my students and I were talking about my wife's school and just how they struggle to, some of the kids struggle to have, make ends meet, and their parents are sending them to school in t-shirts and long sleeve shirts, maybe a hoodie, and it's like just above freezing, so it's raining, and they're having to walk to school. And so honestly, I had talked about, I really want to help them, and me and my wife talked about it for a couple weeks. At some point we really want to help them, and then as the students started talking about, let's go do it now, I felt this conviction of Ben, stop being so step by step organized. When someone has a need, go help, give to the need. And so that's my challenge today, is let's stop talking about it and let's go do it. If you don't agree with something, don't go with hatred, go with truth and love on that person. If you have a relationship that you need to mend, go and start loving on that person. Start building that relationship back up, because what worked then will work now.